What happens when one of Hollywood's most outspoken stars steps onto a live morning show and everything spirals out of control? When a light interview turns into a fiery exchange that shocks everyone watching? That's exactly what unfolded when Mark Wahlberg joined Michael Strahan on Good Morning America. What was meant to be a simple chat about his new film became one of the most tense moments ever seen on daytime TV. Before we dive in, make sure you're subscribed and drop a comment below with what you think really caused the situation to explode. Mark walks onto the set, calm and confident, ready to talk about his upcoming movie. The crew cues the lights, the audience quiets down, and Michael Strahan opens with his trademark warmth. "Mark, it's great to have you here. You've had such an incredible career, from music to movies to business, but some of your older interviews have been making the rounds again. How do you feel about people revisiting your past comments?" Mark's relaxed smile fades fast. He leans back, pauses, then says, "Michael, with all due respect, I'm here to talk about my new project, not to go back over old stuff. That's not what this interview was supposed to be about." Strahan keeps his composure but doesn't move on. "I understand that, Mark. But you've always been open with your fans, and they want to know how your views have changed over time." Wahlberg sits forward, his voice tightening. "I've talked about my past plenty. I've learned and grown. But this isn't the place for that. I came here expecting a real conversation about my work, not another headline moment." The room grows uneasy. You can sense the crew shifting behind the cameras, unsure where this is headed. Strahan's tone stays calm but firm. "This is Good Morning America, Mark. We ask honest questions here. Nobody's trying to ambush you." Mark laughs slightly, shaking his head. "Come on, Michael. You're asking questions meant to stir things up. That's not honesty. That's clickbait." Strahan's smile fades. "I don't do clickbait, Mark. I do interviews. I've had tough conversations with everyone who sits in that chair." "Then maybe you should have told me up front," Wahlberg replies. "Because I came here thinking we were talking about the movie, not digging through old interviews." "Guests don't set the questions," Strahan says. "Our audience expects more than just promotion." "Promotion?" Wahlberg repeats, clearly irritated. "I'm here out of respect for your platform. But this feels like a setup. The tension is now undeniable." The air feels heavy. Strahan crosses one leg and leans forward. "Mark, if you think being asked about your past is a setup, maybe you're not being as transparent as you claim." Wahlberg's tone sharpens. "That's not what I said. I said this kind of question isn't professional." "Professional?" Strahan echoes. "You don't come on my show and tell me how to do my job." Mark stares him down. "I'm saying there's a way to have a respectful conversation. This isn't it. Respect works both ways," Strahan says. "You don't get to call me out because you don't like the question." Wahlberg's voice rises. "It's not about liking it, it's about honesty. You're pretending this is journalism, but it's show business. You want a viral clip?" Strahan's tone hardens. "You really think we need a viral clip from you to get views?" "Could have fooled me," Wahlberg mutters under his breath. "What was that?" Strahan snaps. "You heard me," Wahlberg says, sitting up straight. "This whole thing feels planned." "That's ridiculous," Strahan fires back. "We treat every guest the same." "No, you don't," Wahlberg says flatly. "You came in ready for conflict." "I came in ready for a real conversation," Strahan says, his voice rising. "It's not my fault if that makes you uncomfortable." "Uncomfortable?" Wahlberg laughs bitterly. "You're not making me uncomfortable. You're just wasting time." "Wasting time?" Strahan's smile disappears completely. "You agreed to this interview. You could have said no." "I agreed because I thought this was about the movie," Wahlberg says. "Not some ambush over things from decades ago. That's part of your story, isn't it?" Strahan replies, "People want the full picture." "And who made you the judge of that?" Wahlberg shoots back. Strahan's tone grows sharp. "I'm not judging. I'm asking questions like every other host." "There's a difference between asking and accusing," Wahlberg says. "Accusing? Come on, Mark," Strahan says. "You're reading too much into this." "I'm reading exactly what's happening," Wahlberg says. "You're trying to create drama." Strahan's patience is gone. "If that's how you see it, maybe you shouldn't be here." "Maybe I shouldn't," Wahlberg says coldly. The studio goes quiet. Wahlberg's jaw tightens. Strahan leans back in his chair, his voice steady but tense. Nobody forced you to come. You're welcome to leave if you can't handle a real question. I've handled tougher situations than this, Wahlberg replies. But I don't waste time where there's no respect. Respect? Strahan says, raising an eyebrow. You've been combative since the start. Because you started with a cheap shot, Wahlberg fires back. Cheap shot? Strahan repeats. I asked about your own words. You twisted them, Wahlberg says, standing now. You wanted this reaction. You got it. Sit down, Mark, Strahan says, trying to regain control. We can finish this properly. I think we're done, Wahlberg says firmly. Strahan shakes his head. You're walking away because you can't face a real question. I'm walking away, Wahlberg says, unhooking his mic, because I don't play games. He sets the microphone on the table and steps away from the chair. The sound of his footsteps echoes as the audience stays frozen. Strahan watches him go, his jaw tight, then turns to the camera. Well, he says quietly, that was unexpected. The shot lingers on the empty chair where Wahlberg sat moments ago. The tension is still thick in the air, the silence almost louder than the argument that came before it. And just like that, what began as a normal morning interview became one of the most shocking live TV moments in recent memory. Mark Wahlberg and Michael Strahan locked in a clash no one saw coming and no one will soon forget.